One of the things that U.S.A. Skateboarding is trying to do is utilize our position as a national governing body to do some things that you couldn't necessarily do from the industry perspective. We really want to try and fill in the blanks to make skateboarding as good as we can for skateboarders. One of our major initiatives at this point is to try and get adaptive skateboarding in the Paralympics for Los Angeles in 2028.
Being a member of the adaptive skate community, or the adaptive community in general, like we've hit certain strides and milestones like within the past decade of there's more adaptive athletes. It's becoming more accepted, and I think whether you're a wounded warrior or you're born that way, sports are something that can help you get you out of that rut. And then skateboarding especially is, I think, the best tool of that. And it's rad to see the growth, like especially in the influx in women's skateboarding. You know, that trickles down to the adaptive community. And then WCMX like is skateboarding in a wheelchair, which is gnarly. So that has a lot of potential and room for growth.
So when I first started riding WCMX, there was not many people out in parks riding their chairs and stuff. Like over the last few years, like just recently, to see like the growth of the sport and to see, companies getting more involved. It's cool to just see it growing.
The goal at this point is just to start building some awareness of adaptive skateboarding and making sure that these amazing skateboarders that are out there in the world have a chance to also compete on an Olympic stage. We're really excited to have an adaptive national championships at the U.S.A. Skateboarding Toyota 2019 National Championships. We'll have all different levels of ability, and men and women, and also WCMX and adaptive skateboarders involved.
I think all the riders are just excited to see it continue to grow and then get to this level. We're all on the same mindset of this is just a way to showcase that we're here and we're skating, whether we're amputee or WCMX or visually impaired, stuff like that. We need contests like this to showcase exactly what we need as adapted skaters, from the course to the judging to everything. This is just one more step, and a very necessary step.
For me, it really is just a dream come true to be able to compete in an event like this and to have a chance at bringing WCMX to the Paralympics. When I first started riding, when I was 8, it was always a dream to have, the competitions grow, and to be able to see it morph and evolve and get closer it's freaking awesome.
Seeing adaptive skateboarding and the WCMX and the Paralympics would mean a lot to me. It'd mean that the hard work I've done paid off, like the advocating and the awareness with various nonprofit organizations. It means that people with disabilities are accepted in skateboarding, where traditional sports, it's not that normal. And in the Paralympic would be like the icing on the cake and just the pinnacle of everything.
One of the things that's amazing about skateboarding is you've had these skateboarders that came up who were dealing with adversity in their own way, whether it was John Comer, who's a below-the-knee amputee, or Og D'Souza, who was sitting on a skateboard and grinding insane rails. There have always been some adaptive skaters that showed up and on the strength of their skateboarding ability were recognized in the industry and had a chance to be skateboarders. But by putting a little bit more focus on this and using our place in the Olympic movement to help support adaptive skateboarding, I feel like it's something where we can give this opportunity to way more skateboarders. They're out there in the world right now and they get very little support. Bringing them into this conversation and making them a focal point of what's going on just shows another thing that's special about skateboarding. They are inventing new ways to use a skateboard, and every skateboarder appreciates that regardless of the adversity that they face or physical challenges that they face in their life.
So that's the beauty of skateboarding, is that where traditional sports failed me in my story, like skateboarding was there to go to the park and try something new and not get made fun of, or not, I didn't have to get picked last or be ostracized because I couldn't hold a baseball bat right. So skateboarding is just the fundamental key to teach you life lessons, and it's just a beautiful thing to see it grow and helps you with every facet of life.
When I kind of first started skating again as a visually impaired skater, wasn't sure how many people were out there, who actually did it. And then seeing one or two, and then the more exposure I got, people reaching out on social media, and then realizing there's people all over the world who are not only visually impaired, but like you said, people like Og from back in the day, and Justin Bishop, another blind skater, and just like I never knew anything about WCMX or anything either. So seeing the level those guys are riding at too is like crazy. And to me, yeah, it feels like it's definitely growing.
I think the skateboard industry could be a great ally for adaptive skateboarders right now more than ever, because I mean, we've seen a lot of continuous support over the years, but it's just only from like a specific handful of companies. I think the reach could be larger, and then the growth can be exponential, and I think that would bring, you know, the longevity of it into the forefront. You'll get the younger generation starting skateboarding, and like, you know, Joe Average kid who, you know, is amputee at a young age and like sees us, and then like, because I saw Comer, so that inspired me. That's the one thing, we don't want to see it end with us. So I think with companies providing product, backing us during contests like this, or piggyback on established contests like the VPSs and the SLSs and do tours and all that. So just having the support and the back, and just really providing it through sponsorships and giving the same opportunity that pro skaters get, but to the adaptive skateboarders.
At this point, you know, we don't pretend to know what adaptive skateboarding looks like in the Paralympics. So our goal is to really just engage adaptive skateboarders in the WCMX community and have these discussions on, hey, what does skateboarding look like in the Paralympic environment? How do we do that in a way that is fair and represents what the actual athletes or skaters care about? So those are the discussions we're having now. We really want that to be driven by the adaptive skateboarders themselves. So this is one of those things where we're putting a light on and we're saying, go, do what you do, let's figure this out, because it's gonna be fun.